I think a lot of times the general public forget that farmers, yeah, we grow crops, yeah, we feed and clothe the world, but we're still business owners too. We've got to make a profit. And if a farmer doesn't make a profit, he's out of business. And I also don't think the average consumer understands the amount of risk and capital it takes to just grow that food. It's a lot of risk with a lot of times very little return. I had some of those years where we did everything by the book. We, did all the recommendations that they called. We had decent yields, but at the end of the day, our bottom line, we weren't making any money. And so that was one of the things that really started making me think, man, maybe there's a better way of doing this. My name is Jeremy Brown. I'm a fourth generation cotton farmer here in West Texas. We farm in Dawson County, which is the southern part of the southern plains of Texas. And when we're not growing cotton, we're either growing a small grain crop, whether that's wheat, rye, grain sorghum, whatever that is. And if we're not growing a cash crop, I'm going to harvest and sell, we're growing cover crops, trying to improve our soil, bring diversity and life to the soil. When I was a kid, I remember my great-grandfather still farmed, and so that's what's great about farming. And most of the time, it's a multi-generational business, and so grew up watching them farm, learning from them. But I will say today we farm totally different than the way they farm. Now we're starting to see, well, if we can use herbicides and different technologies, or even on the organics where we can use cover crops to help the soil, I think it really brought about some significant changes that they just didn't know any different. There are some things that my father or my grandfather did in production agriculture that I don't agree with, but I don't blame them because they were just doing the best job that they knew how to do at that time. And when they were using the tools that they had at that time, I want this to be sustainable, not just for me, but if one of my children want to farm or whoever farms it after me, that this is sustainable now and into the future, and hopefully I can make it better than I found it. And so it really broadened my ideas and just challenged me to realize that maybe what we've been doing is not the best for the land. I remember the day I was reading my Bible and I just kind of stepped back and I said, I don't do a good job as a farmer at that point of focusing on the soil. At that point, we were focused on yield, making big crops, pour the fertilizer, do this, do that. And I really started taking a step back and saying, is that what's best for the land long term? Is that sustainable long term? And so that's probably what was the main shift in focus in mine, was just a personal conviction of, man, maybe I'm not doing what's best. Now we're starting to realize that maybe monoculture year on year is maybe not the best for the land. We're realizing that maybe if we can decrease our disturbance, that's better for the soil, that's better for the life that's within the soil. If we can integrate livestock, that's better for the land. The problem in production agriculture is whatever changes you make, to quantify what you're doing, one, is extremely challenging, and two, it's a 5 to 10 year process. You got to stick with it 5 years before you really start seeing some improvements and changes into your land, and that's challenging. I think it's really important that, for me, that's what we spend a lot of time focusing on is the soil. It's the life to what we do. It's a living, breathing ecosystem that we don't even fully understand, and all we see is the results, and we don't understand what's all going on underneath the ground. I just think over time we're learning and growing, and there's just been so much change in production agriculture. It makes it fun. I feel like some things are changing at a rapid pace, and so it's awesome to be a farmer right now, and it's got its challenges, but yet I think the opportunities is great.